What's up, Subterror bros and fellow Subterraneans? Today is a fantastic day. Now, we knew we had 4 new Subterror cards coming in Invasion Vengeance, but today, they've revealed them. Alright, so we have 4 new Subterror cards, we have 3 monsters and 1 trap. So let's go ahead and get into them. First, we have Subterror Behemoth Ultramafus. It's a level 12 Earth Pyro-Type flip effect monster with 3000 attack and 1800 defense. It has the same effect as all of the other behemoths in that when a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense. Now, its unique flip effect is that you can change all other face-up monsters on the field to face down defense position, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So my initial reaction to it is, first, why is it a level 12 Pyro monster? That's not going to have any synergy with the deck, and it's going to be super difficult to summon off of Nemesis Warrior. So the only other way to summon it is really from the hand so far. So I'm not too big of a fan of that. I also wish I had more than 3000 attack. Like even 3001 would be enough, just so I could attack over ABC Buster Dragon and defense position Spirit Dragon. But 3000 attack is still really respectable, so I can't really complain about that. Now the artwork does look really cool. It looks sort of like a dragon, like a flaming earth dragon, a pyro earth dragon, if you will. I don't know, but it looks cool. It's also going to be ultra rare, hence the name Ultramafus. This guy on Reddit had a really cool comment, so here it is. But yeah, so Subterror Behemoth Ultramafus. The effect's actually pretty good, being able to turn all face-up monsters face down. It doesn't target, so it gives you a way to sort of answer established boards. However, the problem is that if your opponent has a large board, they're not going to let you summon a level 12 monster. Like, you just can't summon a level 12 monster easily. They're going to stop you before you get to do that. And so if you can even summon this and flip it, at that point, do you even need to answer their board? Or would they have already exhausted their resources by the time you summon it? Because again, level 12 ain't going to be easy to summon. Next, we have Subterror Behemoth Stygokraken. Stygokraken is a level 5 Earth Sea Serpent monster with 1600 attack and 2400 defense. Once again, it has the same effect as all of the other behemoths. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, and you control no other face-up monsters, you special summon it, blah blah blah. But the unique part of the effect, the cool part, is when it's flipped, you can target set cards on the field equal to the number of Subterror Behemoths you control and destroy them. So you can target either player's set cards on the field. And so the most likely situation is that you'll be destroying back row. However, if you can resolve Ultramafus' effect beforehand, you can also destroy their monsters, which would be a really cool combo if there's like some way to summon, a level 12 and a level 5 monster, and then activate both of their flip effects in one turn. But if somehow that happens, it would be a really cool combo. But for now, it doesn't really seem too feasible. I think the best thing about this monster right now is its level. Being a level 5 monster gives you a lot of variety in what you can do with it. So like before, we had Stalagmo and Umastrix, which are levels 10 and 7 respectively. It was really hard to make Xyz or Synchro summons with those monsters due to their high levels. However, with the level 5 monster, we have the rank 5 pool, which is actually really good. Then we have a lot of variety in the Synchro monsters that we could summon with that as well. Also, if we have Gofu, we can make Zulkin. And so once again, any deck that can make Zulkin is like automatically a lot better. So Stygokraken is really good in that regard. I really wanted a level 6 Subterror Behemoth that would have been useful for Synchros, but these will do for now. These will do. So next we have Subterror Nemesis Subterror Nemesis Archer. And she's a level 3 Earth Fairy type effect monster with 1600 attack, 1400 defense. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's face down monster, and you control another Subterror monster, shuffle that opponent's monster into the deck. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent into the graveyard, special summon one Subterror monster from your deck in face up or face down defense. You can only use each effect once per turn. And so Subterror Nemesis Archer is by far the best Subterror monster in this set. I don't see the first effect happening too often because, not many other decks are setting monsters face down defense. We do have Book of Eclipse and Sword of Concealing Light, as well as Ultramafus' effect. However, none of those are really super consistent. It's also an effect that only triggers when you attack monsters, but is very slow in 2016. And this effect is actually very reminiscent to Aaron Lightsworn Monk, which is one of my favorite cards back in the day. But for reference, Aaron Lightsworn Monk came out in 2008. That's 8 years ago. So that type of effect has definitely been power cracked by now, and the fact that it requires another monster on the field to even use definitely hurts its feasibility in my opinion. However, I guess it's a nice touch. Now the second effect is the money effect. The second effect is money. So if it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Subterror monster from your deck in face up or face down defense. That's really useful. So if you have other behemoths in your hand, you can summon that behemoth in face up defense and then flip it face down to summon the ones from your hand. Or if you have Hidden City, you can special summon it in face down defense and use Hidden City to flip it. So it offers a lot of versatility as well as giving you a way to special summon your behemoths without having to use their in-hand effects. So I think it's going to add a lot of consistency to the deck in that we can search them from deck to the hand with Hidden City. We can summon them from the deck with Nemesis Warrior and another monster, or we can summon them from the deck with Nemesis Archer if it's destroyed. And the fact that you can destroy it yourself really leads me to think that Metalfoes would be a really good engine to play in this deck. So you can pendulum summon the lower level behemoths such as Stygokraken and Umastrix. You can also pendulum summon Nemesis Archer and Nemesis Warrior. You can destroy Archer to summon your higher level ones that you can't pendulum summon, and use Hidden City to flip them. And so in theory it actually sounds like a pretty cool idea. Nemesis Archer will be a key player in future decks. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything that can search level 3 Earth Fairy types, because if so, that would be awesome. And then finally for the trap, we have Subterror Behemoth Burrowing. It's a normal trap card, and the effect is that you banish one Subterror monster from your graveyard, and then for the rest of the turn, face down monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and your opponent cannot target them with card effects. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, add one Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Subterror monster you control and change it to face down defense. And so for the first effect, it's really good that they gave us a way to protect our monsters from being destroyed, because before a really common thing would be you summon Tarot Tray, a Behemoth, and Nemesis Warrior. But if your opponent has Raigeki, you just instantly lose that game. There's nothing you can do about it. But this gives us a way to combat that. However, I don't like the banishing a Subterror from your graveyard as a cost, because we really don't have a consistent way to get Subterrors in the graveyard. Second thing about this first effect is that it says that your opponent cannot target them with card effects. However, if your opponent activates a card that targets them, but doesn't destroy them, and you chain this, you won't be able to protect it because it's already been targeted. So like for example, if your opponent has an ABC Buster Dragon, and they try to use the effect to target your set Stalagmo. When they activate ABC Buster Dragon's effect, they're targeting your monster, and then when you chain this, it's already been targeted, so you can't untarget it. It's already been targeted. Since it doesn't destroy it, ABC Buster Dragon will go ahead and banish your Subterror. And so you'll have to sort of activate this preemptively if you're expecting an effect that will target and not destroy. And every deck has ways to target and not destroy, or even ways to not target and not destroy. And that's sort of the result of the rise of Cosmos. Cosmos forced Konami to make more cards that don't target and don't destroy, just so we'd have ways to out them, to just Ignister. Then for the second effect, if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. I can see this being useful sometimes. However, if your opponent knows you play this, which they probably won't because nobody really cares about Subterrors, but if they do, they probably won't destroy it. Which means you'll probably have to destroy it yourself, but we don't really have ways to destroy it ourselves outside of Stygokraken. And so it just seems sort of like a lot to have to use a flip effect to destroy a set trap, to search a monster that we probably won't be able to summon because we've already summoned the Stygokraken. And so it just sort of seems like a lot with not that much of a payoff. We also have Hidden City to search monsters, as well as Nemesis Warrior and Archer, but I can't see it being too feasible. And then finally, the third effect, you can banish her from the graveyard to target a Subterror and change it to face down defense. This is a pretty useful effect. I mean, especially if you've already used the effect to set a Subterror once, this gives you a way to set it again. I would have preferred it if this card could change them from face down defense to face up, because all of the behemoths can already set themselves anyways, but what they need are more ways to flip themselves face up. And this could have been that card, but it's not, so maybe in the next set we'll get some way to flip them face up. So I really have mixed feelings about this trap. So on one hand, it's protection, it searches Subterror monsters, and you can flip your monsters face down. On the other hand, you have to banish from the graveyard as a cost, which is not good in the early game. Gonna be good mid to late game, but not early game. It only searches that monster if destroyed on field by a card effect. Then you can flip your Subterrors and flip them face down when they can already do that themselves. And so like, if you just read the first part of the effects, they're all really good. But if you like think about them, they're not that good. But I think this will be a decent card, probably a staple 2 of. I don't think we can play more than 2 because you can't really activate it on your first turn in most situations due to having to banish a monster from the graveyard. And you don't really want to play a card that's only good if you destroy it yourself when it's set. Like, that's not too good. Then if you can't activate it or destroy it, then you also can't activate the third effect because it has to be banished from the graveyard. And so again, I'm definitely really mixed about this. I think it'll really take more testing for me to really decide how good it is. But right now I'm feeling a little bit underwhelmed. But my favorite card by far is Subterror Nemesis Archer. Being able to summon your Subterrors from the deck without having another monster on the field is a huge boost. Again, I think this will be great with Metalfoes. I'm really looking forward to trying that out. I'm excited for that. I like Stygokraken's level, so like playing Gofu with this, it's gonna be really cool. And then Ultramafus has a pretty good flip effect, and we can summon it with Archer, so that's interesting. I think Konami's really trying to introduce another way for us to play this deck. They want us to play in a way that flips our monsters and our opponent's monsters face down, But then our monsters are just flip monsters, so they're obviously way better face down. And so we win like that. So I think that's what Konami's going for right now. That's the direction where they're trying to take this. And I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of that. So like looking at Ultramafus, we flip our opponent's monsters face down. Then Nemesis Archer attacks a face down monster, shuffles it back to the deck. Stygokraken destroys face down monsters. So it's like they want us to flip our opponent's monsters face down, and then because ours flip themselves back face up, we can win. But I'm not too sure that's a winning strategy in 2016, 2017. Would have been great in 2008. Well, maybe not 2008 because we still had Judgment Dragon and Dark Arm Dragon. But this would have been good in like 2009 or 10 or something maybe. So it would have been good in Gladiator Beast format. But yeah, definitely look forward to an updated Subterror deck in the next couple days. Let me know what you think about these in the comment section below, as well as some of the ideas that you have for the archetype going forward. So I'm definitely looking forward to your comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I find myself thinking about our sweet escape. I love to daydream about those memories made when the ocean slipped our hearts away. Basking in the sun, my lover. Do you remember that time? Those cerulean tides that